Does intellectual study hurt your Christian faith as a student? Does intellectual study hurt your Christian faith as a student? This is a question many college students ponder as they navigate their academic journeys. The good news is that intellectual study does not have to harm your faith. In fact, it can actually strengthen and deepen it when approached with the right mindset. Christian faith encourages believers to love God with their minds. This means that engaging in rigorous thinking and learning is part of living out your faith. The Christian intellectual tradition invites thoughtful engagement with all areas of knowledge. It recognizes that all truth ultimately comes from God, whether revealed in Scripture or discovered through the world around us. When students engage in intellectual study, they often find that their understanding of faith grows. They learn to interpret Scripture more deeply and see connections between their faith and various academic disciplines. This journey can lead to spiritual growth, as students move from merely knowing about faith to truly trusting and depending on God. Intellectual challenges can prompt students to wrestle with difficult questions. Rather than weakening faith, these challenges can lead to a more mature and resilient belief. Christian education models that integrate faith and academics encourage students to ask how their studies reflected God's work in creation. They also help students understand what their faith demands of them as learners. Practical applications for students include engaging with academic subjects while remembering that all truth is God's truth. This applies to science, literature, philosophy, and more. Participating in communities of faith and learning can provide support, encouragement, and accountability. Regularly reflecting on how academic insights relate to biblical teachings can also be beneficial. Asking questions that connect course content to God's character can help students see learning as a form of worship and service. Embracing intellectual challenges as opportunities to refine faith can transform potential doubts into strengths. However, if intellectual study is approached without a Christian framework, or if students isolate knowledge from spiritual trust, it can feel challenging. This can lead to tension or doubt. But when faith is viewed as involving the whole person, mind, heart, and will, intellectual study becomes a tool for deepening faith. In summary, intellectual study, when integrated with a Christian worldview and community, supports and enriches faith. It leads to a fuller understanding of God and His creation, helping students grow into thoughtful Christians who are equipped for both academic success and spiritual maturity.